Hi, everyone. How's it going? This is the 45th episode we've done of this podcast.
Woo!
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting one. A lot of this is going to be in video games, but we do have some other stuff going on, so we are going to get to that in due time. But first, about our weeks. Bree, how was yours?
I was crazy busy freelance last week. Got a new episode of Late Crap out about Death Kappa, which, for a movie that was kind of a nothing burger, we had surprisingly a lot to say about. It's actually like our second longest episode. And I have to make a little announcement. This is my last podcast recording with the Yeti. I am getting a new mic next week. Yeah, got you there. And then, pupper stuff.
Nice. Well, it looks like that beta thing's working pretty well. We got the comments going, so nice. Kiona, how about you?
It's been a rough week. That's all I really want to say is it's just been a rough week. It's been a very up and down week.
I'm sorry to hear, buddy.
It's okay.
All right. Oh God, what did I do? I had some friends over for Memorial Day. I played more Assassin's Creed. I'm getting further along in it. I'm nearing towards the end of 2. Some parts still want to make me put my fist through a wall, but it is a good game, so I will give it that. I'm looking forward to finishing that and getting on to Brotherhood. I am now actually looking forward to something that, once it comes, I don't know what the date is, that I found out that Lies of P is going to get difficulty settings when the new DLC drops. So I'm now very much looking forward to playing Lies of P. There's that. Went to my mom's and hung out with the nieces and nephews for a while. Been the first time I'd been into like a hotel pool in forever. So we played volleyball in a hotel pool for like 4 hours. I was dead after that. But yeah, that was a good time. But all right, so we're gonna move on to our topics here. And you normally have them open. I don't know why I closed it. All right, so this is a buy or sell, but I'm gonna feel that we're probably gonna have a bigger topic, a conversation on this, considering who's in the group today. Kiona, buy or sell that Jason Momoa, Andrew Koji, Noah Centineo?
Centineo, I think?
Centineo? And
Yeah,
Roman
Centineo.
Reigns are in early talks to star in a Street Fighter for Legendary Entertainment, The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. I've seen a report that supposedly Roman Reigns and Jason Momoa's part that they're trying to go for is Akuma?
I don't know that I would be against that. I don't know that I would be against that, honestly. I don't know this Noah Centineo guy. I know that he's supposed to be like He-Man or something.
I guess. Mike has something going on, Umbreon. I don't know. Like, I have nothing against any of these castings. Some of them I don't know. Some of them...
Yeah.
I don't know who they'd be in Street Fighter.
Andrew Koji was like the dude who played Storm Shadow in the Snake Eyes movie, right?
Was he?
Wasn't that him?
Andrew, maybe. Andrew Koji Snake.
I could see him as like their Ryu, maybe.
Yeah, he was in Snake Eyes. Also, other than the unbelievably dumb plot device for the weapon at the end, that was actually a pretty alright movie.
I didn't mind that movie. I know of certain pundits on YouTube who really hate that movie. I didn't hate it. I thought it was kind of all right, man.
Yeah.
But Andrew Koji was great in that.
Yeah,
he was like the best
awesome.
part.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So like Jason Momoa, of course, I'm always for Jason Momoa in anything.
Just trying to
I don't know
like,
who
Jason
play.
Momoa would be? Blanca.
Who?
Who else could he be? Like, right?
That would actually be kind of cool.
That That's my instantly like crazy dude. That's kind of like where is Blanca technically from?
Brazil.
Okay. I guess
So, I
if
don't
you want to
know.
swing that, that's like the only one. That's the only one that screams Jason Momoa to me.
Blanca. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, I mean,
Like-
he could, like Roman could actually be like a sort of reworked Zangief if they wanted to go in that
Oh my
direction.
gosh.
Oh, that
Have him
would be
Samoan
great.
instead of Russian. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of a Samoan way to say Zangief.
I wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't mind this at all. I don't know. I think the casting's pretty damn funny.
You know, if they were
honestly.
going to cast
I think it's
wrestlers, if they would have got Rusev to be Zangief.
Oh, Rusev as Zangief would have just been perfect. Oh my god.
I'm all for this.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this and I'm like,
I don't know
okay.
who Noah Centineo could be. Maybe like Ken or Guile or
Maybe I'm just like, okay, so out of this group,
cast Jason Momoa as Dhalsim.
oh my gosh, no, he's going to be Bison.
Bison, yes.
You know,
I would
You know what? I would actually
I'm
pay
so
money to
for
see
that.
that.
so it's like
What if it was Vega?
I don't know. I don't see a Guile in this group. Ooh, Vega could work. I don't see a Chun-Li or a Cammy for obvious reasons. I mean, if you want to try and put Jason Momoa in Cammy's outfit, you can give it a shot.
Hey, I'm for it.
And like,
Show off that dumpy.
I just don't see the main cast out of this group.
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't either, but if nothing else, it's really good stunt casting. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like
this is what Roman Reigns has been up to, I guess. I don't know.
Absolutely, it's just as long as he gets to spear somebody, it's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
that's pretty funny. I would say I would buy that. I'll buy that for $1.
All right. Bree, buy or sell that Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds wants Disney to make a gamble on an R-rated Star Wars project, which he says would want the film to utilize the rating as a Trojan horse for emotion rather than vulgarity. Speaking to the box office podcast, the actor says, I pitched to Disney, I said, why don't we do an R-rated Star Wars property? It doesn't have to be an overt plus 8 characters. There's a whole wide range of characters. I'm not saying I want to be in it. I'd want to produce and write a part of it behind the scenes. Those kind of IPs subsist really well on scarcity and surprise. We get the scarcity really within Star Wars because Disney Plus. I have said this for the longest time, and it's never going to happen, and I sound like a fucking psycho because I say this. If they're going to do an R-rated Star Wars film, they should do a Project or Order 66 snuff film.
Either that or look, you know that one of those hear me out
Nice.
cakes. Oh, okay.
Nice.
So hear me out on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if we made a very special character from the old EU canon? Do you want to know what that character is? Jackson. Jackson the fucking rabbit. Just don't think about it.
like
Just
what
have
about,
it
like,
be a
Tag
rabbit
and
that
Dink?
curses.
I don't know.
You know
Still
what?
Mara Jade there for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, Mara
Yeah,
Jade,
Mara
and you know what?
Jade.
While we're at it, let's reboot the Ewok TV movies.
Yeah, an R-rated
Just like-
Ewok slasher film.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
I
Yes, let's do
but
it.
like honestly, the thing that would benefit, like, I don't know what that's tripped in my mind so far, but like trying to watch certain Jedi get out of Order 66, like watching their fellow Jedi get slain. You want to do an R-rated movie?
Yeah.
I can't think of something else that's like rated R for the sake of emotion. That's the
I don't
only one I
know.
can think of.
I mean,
Honestly.
Yeah.
Or if you want to also be serious, another spectrum you could do is, Jabba the Hutt, like in his prime, do like crime lord, sort of like, the Godfather, but like in space and like other shit. But you know what? Ryan Reynolds isn't wrong about there being no spontaneity in Star Wars.
At this moment, there isn't.
That's true.
Del Toro tried to do a Java movie. That is very true. He's doing oh yeah, yeah,
Jabba movie.
Mike is grinding away on the anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point when they actually figure out what the fuck they're doing with Star Wars, which will be all right.
About a Wookiee Life Day R-rated film.
How about a Christmas special with fucking subtitles?
What, you mean you can't understand what it means?
No, I want to know what kind of porn the dad is watching on that hologram at one point. I wish I was kidding.
Can we just get Mark Hamill back with like the really bad wig again?
Yeah, after he had reconstructive surgery. But here's the porn he was watching. He has two girls, one blaster.
Two Wookiees, one jar. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah, that's fun.
Kiona, buy or sell that Marvel's X-Men future film may have found its director in Drake Schreier. Hot off the hit Thunderbolts film is in talks to helm the reboot of the mutant team. He will team with the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes screenwriter Michael Leslie. Leslie?
That's how they spelled it.
Sure. Buy or sell?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently he's less than a lie. I think I'll buy that. I'll buy that one because Thunderbolts was it was a good movie. It was a very solid movie, and I thought did some things quite well. It got to the core of the characters, which was nice, and I think that you really need that with X-Men.
Yeah.
I think he has a good handle on how to balance the action with the character development. So yeah, I'm definitely for it. I haven't seen the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, so I don't know how good the writing is, but or could be. But yeah, in terms of the direction, I think Jake Schreier's a good choice. So yeah, I'd buy it.
Bree, would you buy or sell?
I guess I'd buy.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
It's good. It's good.
Buckle up, because we got quite a bit of gaming news here before we get to anything else. All right, Kiona. We're on to the gaming news here, and apparently Destiny 2 had a subscription model that was pitched by Bungie and was vehemently shot down by management. I'm going to be honest. I think the thing that... It just says management. I'm going to assume their own. From what I read, it sounded like Bungie pitched it to their higher-ups, and the higher-ups said no. Honestly, I think the subscription model for Destiny would have worked better than what they had.
Honestly, yeah. It
wanted to be FF14. That's a subscription model.
True. Yeah, they would have had at least cash coming in, the whole time as opposed to relying on certain things. But I have the feeling that they would have just really done stupid shit with that.
Yeah. It's the same thing, just done different ways. Umbreon here, right?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Report. Report. Ex-Bungie employee says everything happening to Bungie is because of greed. This just in, Water is in fact still left. Who added that he hopes the studio gets consolidated into Sony as the path forward. Which I think's gonna happen because I don't fucking know if Marathon's actually gonna come out.
Yeah, I think this might be Concord 2 as the pet name that's going around.
Well, here's the difference.
Yeah.
Concord had an actual idea of something to do that it came up with on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to the Super Best Friends cast. Apparently, this is like the fourth time that Bungie's been caught plagiarizing something, and they always say it's because of an ex-employee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They always do.
I guess there was some Bungie marathon. No, there was a Bungie storyline Destiny storyline that supposedly got ripped from some guy's fanfic, wholesale. But they're like, yeah, we think some person just wrote whatever. And then there was some version of a Destiny gun that was a Nerf gun that got made into a skin for something that they wholesale took and never credited.
Oof.
And it's always an ex-employee. And
yeah.
Wooly on the podcast was like, do we fire the ex-employee and then he keeps getting rehired? Or just ex-employee code name for Then also, I don't know if it's true, but supposedly almost their entire legal team has been laid off.
Oh, well, that's surely a great sign of things to come.
Because now they're in, like, part of what they're in a lawsuit for and working on is because that thing that got like, that storyline supposedly got stolen is in vaulted content. And how they worded it in the article, they didn't say vaulted, they said deleted.
Yeah.
So that shit's not coming back ever. It's just gone.
So that means it's from way back in the... Well, it could be from certain seasons and stuff that they've kind of gotten rid of. But I mean, the deleted content sounds like it's more from the beginning of Destiny 2. Yeah, you had the whole Red War thing.
Oh, I get that. But they told people that was vaulted content that can come back later. In this court hearing thing, it specifically says deleted content.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like a big, fat lie.
Mm-hmm.
Which means they're either lying to the courts or lying to the people playing the games.
So...
Why not both?
Exactly. And you know what? Once consumers are like, wait a second, can you spell class action lawsuit?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, and I can't believe I'm saying this, that Activision was better for Bungie when they were there.
Yeah.
God.
That's kind of insane.
At this point, do they really have any other recourse than to be folded into Sony? After all,
I don't know what can help them. Like, I understand I like Sony more than most, but what else can they do? And also, they lied about their value in the freaking estimates with the player counts, and now it's sounding like the higher-ups are waiting on the final payment in, like, the subsidization for the whatever they were doing for when they were bought out, waiting for that, and it sounds like they're always gonna fucking duck because they will not delay the game.
And that's always worked out so well.
But, like, not delaying the game comes with timing, because that timing will come before the final payment from Sony comes, so that they can collect on that cash paycheck, get their golden parachute, and fucking duck. If that all lines up the correct way, which is looking like it does. And, like, there's also reports that, like, they were given $1 billion to, like, retain staff to work on these games, and then their head just used it to buy fucking cars.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point,
Umbreon, I've gotten to the point of where when Bungie says, hey, yeah, there's some stuff that might have been there, but it's in content we won't let anyone look at anymore.
That seems suspicious.
If you had the proof to show that it wasn't plagiarized, why would you be hiding that content?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just give it to the court so they can look at it and go, yeah, sure, we didn't plagiarize that at all. All the proof's right there. I'm normally the person that sides with the person trying to prove themselves innocent until proven guilty, but at this point, it doesn't sound good. And when you have a company that says 4 different times that an ex-employee randomly plagiarized other shit, and when they have to delay live streams because they can't actually know what parts of their art isn't plagiarized, and they can't show the plagiarized art. God. Okay, anyway, moving on from that. Resident Evil 9, original scrapped version of the game. Originally started dev in 2017, RE7 initially was underperforming. RE9 was going to be the opposite of RE7, big open world, multiplayer elements. RE9 originally starred Leon and Jill. A fictional island based on Singapore, changed direction in 2021. This version was totally scrapped, and Leon remains as the antagonist. Boo. I wish they cared about fucking chill even slightly. I wish they would like. Some people didn't like RE6. I really liked being able to do multiplayer. In the RE games, it was a lot of fun. I just don't know why we're against that now, because like Revelations 2 is one of their best multiplayer games ever, and you basically can't play that game on your own. At least not the best way to play it. But yeah. All right. Now, rumor about Resident Evil remakes coming up. RE2 was meant to be more ambitious, initially had an hour-long prologue. Wasn't fun to play. Wasn't fun to play, apparently. Power struggle between RE producers. RE1 is not in development as of 2023. RE0 remake underwent major changes. RE Revelations 3, starring Rebecca, was in development for the Nintendo Switch and canceled in 2022. Boo! Mikami isn't even with Capcom anymore, and they still fucking hate Rebecca.
Yeah.
All right. A little bit more. This thing came up, and I just can't believe this. Just makes me happy. Resident Evil franchise sales. 5 has sold 15.5 million copies. RE2 2019, the remake, has sold 15.4 million copies. Resident Evil 7 has sold 15 million copies. Resident Evil 6 has sold 14.7 million copies. Resident Evil 4, the original, has sold 14.7 million copies. Resident Evil Village, 11.3. RE4, the remake, 10 million. RE3, the remake, 10 million. Resident Evil in 2002, the remake was 6.05. Resident Evil 0, 5.85. Revelations, 5.5. Revelations 2, 5.2. The original Resident Evil, 5.08. The second one, 4.96. The third, 3.50. Operation Raccoon City, 2.8. Resident Evil Code Veronica, 2.54. Outbreak, 1.45. The Umbrella Chronicles at a whopping 1.3.
Wow.
And yet, still more than a lot of games would have. The Umbrella Chronicles.
And also, I'm not surprised that Vampire Mommy is hot in the higher echelons.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But I also was just like everyone going, no, that character would have been just as interesting if she was a male.
No. No.
Because I had this argument with someone. I'm like, I get the character's interesting, but denying the fact that 90% of that character's appeal is that they wanted to fuck her is ridiculous. And they're like, oh, that's not true. I'm like, okay, make that character male. Does it work? Well, no, it doesn't.
No.
She's 9 feet tall. I'm like.
Also, why are you complaining about that?
Not at all. But it's like.
Why? No. I mean, why is the person, not you, I mean, why is the person complaining about that?
No, I don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever.
I don't get it either.
It's like, admit that's part of it. No, that's not part of it. Then give me another reason. And then their face just goes. I'm like, you can make a character that wants to be fucked. That's just fine.
I'm like, she's a classic femme fatale. Like, that is literally her deal. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's her whole entire purpose in the story, which is fine.
Yes, and give or take, we all knew. Everyone who plays a Resident Evil game knows she was not going to stay a 9-foot whatever beautiful goth woman. She was going to turn into a horrendous fucking monster. Because that's what happens.
Which, even then, low-key, still kind of hot.
Still kind of hot, yeah. Hey, I would have been like, man.
I don't know. Even for me, that one's not quite on my hear me out kick.
No, I've been like, hey, you know what? There's worse ways to go out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
There's worse ways. You're not RE fans for calling her for a step on them. Exactly. That's where it's like, I gotten so many people that were just like, there's so much more to her character. Name one thing. And then I was my number one when I got those people, I'm like, tell me what her first name is.
There's nothing wrong with it.
And then no one could tell me what her first name was. I'm like, because they didn't care. They just wanted you to fuck her. No. That's all they cared about. They wanted you to have sex with her. Stop saying you were so much more interested than what she was, because you weren't.
There's nothing wrong with that either. What's the problem here?
There isn't whatsoever. It just blows my mind when they're just like, I didn't want to just have sex with her. I tried to. Did you play the game? No.
I mean, she's a stock character thing because she's the only character in that game. I mean, I haven't played it, but I've like watched all the cutscenes that's like that.
I was fine with her picking me up and strangling me to death and like giving me a choke slam. I didn't mind it.
In the entirety of Resident Evil. Oh boy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The Ashford twins. They weren't sexualized. There was Excella Gianni. I'm trying real hard here.
I mean,
there was Rachel.
Ava, maybe.
You don't know what I'm asking, otherwise you wouldn't have said that. I'm talking about purposely makes you want to fuck them. So no, Ava's not one. But it's like Excella Gianni, the two scuba girls, the BSA agent and Rachel from Revelations, Alex Wesker from Revelations 2, Elsina Dimitrescu, and Mother Miranda. There's been like 5 characters that are main villains in Resident Evil history. Where they went out of their way to make them...
30 years that this franchise has existed.
Yeah, like, we made this character to make men horny. Like,
and
normally
women.
it's guys.
Lots of lesbians.
And women. Normally it's some overly buff dude. Or like some purposely tweak guy that is just weird. Like, it's not...
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, why? I'm like, it's okay if you don't want to touch boobies. Just like, don't be a weirdo about it.
Yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, sex does sell. All right. One last thing about Capcom. Capcom is planning to further strengthen its development capabilities by building a new base next to its current headquarters in Osaka, Japan. Capcom is sick of making all the money somehow putting out 4 to 5 games a year. They want to do even more!
Beautiful joke. Beautiful joke. Beautiful joke.
That's not dependent on Capcom. That's dependent on if
if they can get...
if Mikami wants to make nothing else but games for Capcom at his studio.
Yeah.
Which I don't think...
Well, I mean, he's expressed that he wants to, so...
He has expressed that he wants to, but give or taking that each of these games is going to take like 5 years, I bet he probably wants to make one of his own games first.
I feel you on that, yeah, for sure.
Because he's got this studio and he's made a game for Capcom, and that's it.
Yeah.
This is the guy that came up with Bayonetta and like everything else that happened.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm not saying he won't.
I would love it. I would love it.
I'm not saying he won't. They'll make more stuff.
They'll make more stuff, which is great.
I wouldn't doubt they just make a whole new base
Marvel
for just
Capcom,
Resident Evil.
More Capcom versus SNK, more keep that train rolling.
All right, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm quite excited that Liza P is getting a difficulty options to allow a wider audience to play the games. This is one thing, another one where I get it.
I like that.
Everyone likes to beat their own dick up against the wall for 40 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
But there's other people that would like to play those games and not.
Maybe there's some of us who want our dick to remain in good shape and not get pounded on a wall.
Yeah, and it doesn't take away from the people that don't want those. At all. That's like when a live action remake or some other remake happens and I hear someone bitch and say, it ruined everything for me. I can't even watch the old one. I'm like, I didn't know they destroyed the copies of the old one.
Yeah, did you like swallow the old DVD or something?
I didn't know they came to your house, went into your DVD case, and like made
just
changes to the original.
You pull a Justice League and go and set it on fire in your backyard or something.
It's just, it's...
You know what this reminds me of? Like, some exec went in your house, and if you ever seen the Lonely Island song, Threw It on the Ground?
Yeah.
That's what, like, I threw it on the ground.
I need your medicine, I'm an adult! All right, so... I gotta make sure that I get back into this, because this was fucking funny to me. Hold on, I gotta Copy, because this was so stupid. Embracer Group. Also, there was some article that they were planning on putting out like 6,000 games roughly this year because they own 400 fucking studios. They're rebranding one of their studios that has basically all of their major IPs to Middle Earth and Friends.
These are the fuckers that made the Gollum game, right?
I don't know who made the Gollum game because
I meant the one who owns it, the IP.
Well, that just means they own Lord of the Rings. That doesn't mean that this studio made that studio with this studio, because Embracer's a fucking giant group that just hires people to make stuff. They just own studios. So I don't know where that started and what's development, but yeah. Because there's also like the Mines of Moria, that dwarf game. There was something else too. What the hell was that? But yeah, it's one of those things where they basically did what Ubisoft did, where they're like, all of our important IPs go over here. That's where you're going to go play from now on, because we only care about you. All right. Something that I thought was really cool that I wish Microsoft would have done forever ago, and I wish they'd do more of, because I saw what this list consists of, and oh boy. Microsoft has announced they are making retro classics with Game Pass, a collaboration with Antstream Arcade to bring a collection of over 50 classic Activision games from the 80s and 90s to Game Pass members. I went through this list, and when I tell you, I've maybe heard of 4 of them.
Shoot some.
Shoot some? Okay, baseball. I'm not joking when I say that.
No, I hate that. I think I know what that game is.
Activision Prototype 1. Atlantis 2. Brainstorming. Baseball. Beam Rider. Bloody Human Freeway. Boxing. Bridge. Caesar 2. Checkers. Chopper Command. Commando. Conquest of the Longbow. The Legend of Robin Hood. Cosmic Arc, Crackpots, Decathlon, Demon Attack, Dolphin, Dragster, Enduro, Fathom, Firefighter, Fishing Derby, Freddy Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist, Freeway, Grand Prix, Hero, Kaboom, Laser Blast, Mech Warrior 2, 31st Century Combat, Megamania, Pitfall 2, Lost Caverns, Pitfall! Exclamation point.
Pitfall, nice.
Police Quest, Pressure Cooker, Riddle of the Sphinx, River Raid 2, Robot Tank, Sky Jinx, Space Quest 2 at 6, Space Treat Deluxe, Spider Fighter, Star Voyager.
I saw this trailer on YouTube or something. And
Adventures of Willie Beamish.
Sure. Willie Beamish.
The Dagger of Amon-Ra. Thwalker.
Somebody ought to bring Willie Beamish back in modern times.
Title Match Pro Wrestling, Terran's Passage, Trick Shot, Volt Assault, Venetian Blinds, Zork 1, Zork 0, Frostbite, and Quest for Glory. I don't know about you, but I'm looking quite forward to Kaboom!
Zork. And Zork. More Zork, please.
More Zork.
More Zork.
I mean, it's cool. I wish they would do more of that, kind of like they did with
that's kind of awesome.
Replay.
Good for maybe good,
or rare
maybe a little
replay.
Good for game preservation, hopefully.
Hopefully. Really nice if we did more of that. GTA style game Mind's Eye has a new trailer and a $60 price point and a content rollout plan. 15-hour story, GTA-like combat. Stop that. I'm trying to get to the content rollout if it would let me. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Arcadia? Create encounters on the map. Red Rock City to be enriched with DLC. Great cutscenes. Driving feels stiff. A game is rough around the edges. Previewers think it needs to be delayed. It says content rollout, and then I don't see the content rollout. That's fantastic.
It does sort of look like the type of game that would be a little rough around the edges.
I kind of feel like, at launch, there is a tightly crafted linear story campaign.
Interesting, though.
And what's called single-player free roam, but there's a number of missions, a horde mission called Destruction Site Shootout, and 2 combat missions, Honor Amongst Thieves and Friendly Fire, Also at launch are 6 races, 6 checkpoint races, 3 drone races, and you get a premium pass with an extra horde mission and exotic cosmetic packs. Other video game companies are expected to follow this trend of the likes of Gearbox's Borderlands 4 at the center of the pricing debate following comments from Randy Pitchford.
Randy. Oh, boy, Randy.
Yeah, my favorite guy.
Randith. I just want to call him Randith.
Okay, so we're on to movie news here.
Okay.
Oh boy. Brock, you want to unload?
Ohana means family.
And family
means you get left with the neighbors after your sister gives up custody to leave Hawaii to study marine biology in the mainland of the United States when 3 of the best marine biology colleges are in Hawaii!
Uh-oh.
If you could see my face right now.
The skull says everything.
There's I looked up the list. There was 9 colleges that specify in marine biology in Hawaii.
Did they shut down NOAA yet? NOAA? Because it's right there.
No, they didn't. And
so,
you know why?
So it's right there.
It's right there. And do you know why?
That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah. Do you know? Oh, now I'm blanking on the main villain's name.
What? Jumba?
No. The actual animated movie's main villain.
Oh, Gantu?
Gantu. Why he's not in the movie, according to the director, is because he was too much of a cliched, comes at the end of the movie, giant space battle type of villain. And Jumba would know Stitch better with a personal connection, so it made sense to turn him evil.
Okay.
It costs too much money to animate.
And as far as Nani goes, the original version of her had too much of a rose-tinted glasses look on life, thinking she could take on the responsibility of raising her sister.
But that's the whole thing. It's a tragedy, because even movie Nani, she's only 18, 19 years old. So the parents out of the, dying happens only a few months beforehand.
Yeah. Hey, Kiona.
That's the whole thing.
Kiona, you're a native Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there a giant history? A giant history. And also, might have been a theme of the original film. Of the government coming in and basically trying to take native indigenous children away from their parents in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So it would be very stupid for a native Hawaiian, who, correct me wrong again, are very proud of their homeland, to give up their family to pursue a better life in the mainland United States.
To give up their family to do that? I mean, that's really not... That don't seem like something that would happen.
It's almost like every idea of the original film was thrown out the window to say, no, fuck your family, do you?
Yeah.
Be that girl boss.
For a stupid reason, because it's literally right there, like you said.
Okay, and also, I hate having politics on this podcast, but I'm going to bring up the dumbest excuse that I saw for why they did this ever.
Oh, please do.
Okay, I don't care where your leanings are.
Curious.
90% of my family is Democrat. 90% of it. I am more Republican, leaning a little bit conservative, but I don't agree with everything there. I saw someone say that the ending of this film is because Disney is trying to incorporate conservative ideals. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever heard a conservative ideal before, but conservative ideals are something happens to you, you lace up your bootstraps and deal with it. And that is a lot of things that people don't like conservatives for, because they sometimes don't like them not letting excuses go and whatever. So Nani giving up Lilo because she doesn't feel like trying is the least conservative thing on the planet.
Yeah. It's also the least decent thing on the planet that she could have done.
Like, don't try to make an excuse for a badly written movie because you don't like politicians. Like, don't try and throw politics into us as an excuse for why the movie was bad.
And also, this movie was in development for a while.
None. And yeah, like Jacob said, they even got rid of the ugly duck metaphor with Stitch. They literally, this isn't a live action remake. I said it off camera. This is a live action rewrite. Total rewrite of everything.
But you know what the thing is that's sad? This is like so typical for what this franchise has become. You know, because the whole point of why Lilo and Stitch works isn't because Stitch is a cute little trickster.
Brian, I saw that before the podcast started.
Because Lilo and Stitch together, they help each other. They literally cannot exist without one another. It just...
Yeah, Umbreon, I saw the exact TikTok you were going on. Exactly, and that's what made me even more pissed after I was thinking the exact same thing, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Who stands up and goes, hey, what if in the script we make Nani give up Lilo? That person should be ejected out the window at that thought alone.
Yeah, like, the only time that would have been okay is that maybe if that was, like, the end of, like, Act 2, but then she decides that she can make it work as... Yes!
Talk about a case of character assassination, too.
Of everyone. Like, the only one who doesn't get their character assassinated somehow is maybe Lilo, but she was, like, okay with it.
Because she's like 5! She doesn't understand!
Well, no, but even in the original movie, she's still 5 but doesn't want to get given up by her sister.
No.
They have a whole moment begging her sister to not give her up. Begging her to like her more than, what was it? Was it a lizard? I can't remember. It was some kind of animal, but 7. Either way. You're cognizant enough to know you don't want to get given up by the remaining family member you have left after your parents died in reason.
I think in canon,
they died in a car crash originally.
Yeah, they did.
Very much a mishandling of the whole property, I think.
Yeah, I was legitimately excited for this movie because Lilo and Stitch is one of my favorite animated films of all time. If Ohana means family, everyone gets forgotten. Gets behind and forgotten.
Umbreon. You know, this isn't the first time that's happened in this franchise. Like, the Lilo and Stitch anime did it too, which, by the way, I'm sorry I'm going to spoil, like, a decade-old anime. So, Stitch goes bad again because, you know, Lilo deserts him because she's going off to college, and he just goes off to Japan for, like, reasons. But anyway, so years later, which, by the way, if you search Lilo's adult design, it's fucking hilarious. Her and Stitch have an episode in, like, season 3 where they reunite. And she said, oh, no, Stitch, I was just late because, you know, Nani was giving birth. And then you just left. I was like, first of all, this doesn't even make sense. Like, because allegedly this anime is supposed to be, like, a sequel of, like, the animated series or whatever. Like, there's no way in hell Stitch would have thought Lilo would abandon him. And I'm like, they've been together, like, a decade plus at that point. Yeah, how would he have not known that Nani was pregnant? Be like, oh, she had to go somewhere. She might be running behind. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, it just, everything, you know, for all this franchises that Disney's milked, honestly, Lilo and Stitch has been, like, the most egregious, which, all things considered, is kind of insane.
Yeah. It's almost like they knew people really liked it. Until they decided to make a live-action version. Like, what's all extra dumb is they were okay with spending the CGI budget on making The Lion King exactly the fucking same. Didn't change a thing. That entire movie is animated in CGI. Which I'm going to assume would have been more expensive than what they would have needed to do for Lilo and Stitch. And that one made $1 billion, and they went, let's make another one. And then Lilo and Stitch is, no, let's just redo the entire film from plot point A to Z. Because, you know, Disney's the family corporation that believes in abandonment. My nephews wanted me to take them to see this, and I can't do it. It doesn't even feel like Disney Plus or not had a factor in this. I'm going to be honest with you, because Stitch looks good, and everything else looked fine. The writing was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've had
like,
good
Stitch
writing on
really
Disney
good.
Plus. Yeah.
And like the actors who played Lilo, pretty damn good. Yeah, perfect. Like
perfect. Absolutely.
So I don't know.
I don't fucking know. All right, let's talk about something happier. The Last of Us.
Oh, sure. The happiest of us.
The happiest place on earth, even.
So normally at
Seattle.
We're taking right where the sun don't shine. Seattle, Washington. So normally this would be the point where I ask Mike what he thought of the show because he hasn't played the game.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to ask him
next week.
Can't do
that
week.
now. We'll have to ask him
Let's
that.
Ask him next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week. We'll do a quick blur because man, this last episode was weird. Kiona, what was your opinion on how this one was done?
They covered a lot in this episode, didn't they?
They did.
It kind of ended where I thought it would, but the path that it took to get there was interesting.
This is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world.
Excuse me, I still have my cough. But I mean, like, that was I'm a little speechless, honestly, with what they did in this episode. I think that, like, I get what they were going for, but at the same time, I was like, wow, man, that was a lot. That was a lot to cover in one single episode.
It was very much a lot to cover. And the way they did it, I was like, all right, so you did cut out a decent
badly done.
No, I was actually kind of shocked that they covered as much as they did. I was not mad that they left anything. There wasn't really a whole ton left out. Like, the only stuff that was left out at certain points were a lot of, like, sneaking through missions and shooting. Like, the other thing I tried to remember if they left anything out really was before the hospital, that one girl that had the PSP.
Yeah. Wasn't there, like, a person that was playing, like, Hotline Miami or something?
Yeah, that's the one where she stabs in the throat and is, like, upset that she did extra harm. She's like, that was stupid. The one you sneak up out of the water on.
Yeah.
I
understand why they don't do those sequences, but I do kind of miss them sometimes.
Yeah, they don't need to, and I get that.
They don't need to, honestly, for this, And also, it's very unrealistic to have, like, you know, Bella Ramsey just kill, like, 1,000 people.
It is. It's one of those things where with video games, like, people don't realize the video game is that much longer because you're playing sections of it.
Yeah, and it's also, like, that's your obstacle, you know, like, the violence is a tool. Like, it's an obstacle for you to get through as a player, so, yeah.
Absolutely. I will say, for a second, I thought they were going to do something with Jesse that was going to piss me off, and they kind of did it, but they backtrack on it enough to where they don't. One thing that I really liked about Jesse in the original game is when he meets up with Ellie, he's like, why did you come here? He goes, my friend's problems are my problems. In the show, at first they're kind of like, I had to come because I had to look like the guy that could take over for the town. But then at the very end, that conversation where he goes, you came here because whatever, he goes, did Tommy make you come back for me? He goes, No. Because there's a good part of me that thought that if I was out there alone, you'd set the world on fire to come and get me. She goes, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy they did that.
I was glad that they did that too.
Because that's the main part about Jesse that I love so much, that he was loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
And I do like, though, that he was very stern with her about, like, I want to fucking make it out of here because that's my kid.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
the actor was really good as Jesse too, by the way.
Oh, that might be the most spot-on casting they've had in the whole show.
Spot on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He did a great job. Yeah.
I do like how they show him figuring out how Dina's pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. She was like, oh shit, you're guessing. Oh no.
Yeah, and like pushing the arrow back through her leg to avoid the artery.
Yeah.
I was physically wincing.
Oh god, that was rough. Yeah, and the alcohol thing where he's like, here, take it, and she's like, no,
and he's just, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
yeah. One thing they did early that I really appreciated, because it works better for the show to do it this way, is you showed them getting ready to storm the island where the scars are.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have to wait a whole season to figure out what's going on there. Because they don't show any of that shit until you get in the Abby's campaign at the very end.
Yeah, they don't show any of that. Yeah, you're right.
So that is very much a made-for-TV decision to make the finale seem more whatever. So that was a very good move there. One thing that I want to bring up about last week, Neil admitted why they showed the porch scene. Do you want to guess why?
Because the ending's different?
Because he felt by the time you would have actually gotten there in the show, it would not have meant as much. Because he's like, realistically, it's going to be 6 years until you get to that scene. Because of shooting, editing, the show playing.
Okay.
So
I could see that.
To a degree, I understand him. Because if they wait to shoot that, or like they could have shot the scene and waited, but like actually showing that now, I guess to actually get the hit before Ellie's end there, I to a degree understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. I can see his point.
It still does kind of pull the rug out from certain situations, knowing if they work things out or not.
Yeah, I feel like it does. But
yeah, the one thing they switched that really shocked me is they gave Ellie the treatment that the scars give to Abby.
Yeah, you're right.
They had her show up on the Scar Island and then get sent
I thought that was different. I haven't played it in a long time, and I was like, wait a minute, isn't this meant for Abby?
Yeah, and that doesn't even happen on the Scar Island. Like, Ellie just drives her boat and then gets washed up in the waves and then washes up at the aquarium. Yeah. She gets pushed all the way fucking back to the Scar Island and then rides a Scar boat out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like and then like Abby gets saved by Yara and Lev.
That's right.
After they break Yara, well, no, they get saved by Lev after they break Yara's arm. That's right. Well, they just demolish Yara's arm. But Yara. The 44 Magnum, the most powerful. I can't believe. I had that in my notes. As soon as that moment happened, I was like, it took me a second to actually figure out, because the Mel drops and I'm like, did Mel just have a panic attack? And then I see the blood going and I see the thing in the door and went, she blew through Owen and hit Mel on accident. Yeah. Like, holy, and she shot him in the throat.
Yep.
Because in the game,
who needs an AR? Just get the 44.
Yeah, and like in the games, for those that don't know, she shoots Owen, and then like Mel comes after her and she stabs Mel, not knowing she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Now she accidentally cuts Mel, and I'm not gonna, or accidentally like basically slits Mel's throat with the bullet going through.
Yeah, with the bullet. Yeah.
When she said "get it out,"
Mm-hmm.
Part of me thought Mel was losing it and wanted her to dig the bullet out.
Yeah.
When Mel was then actually trying to get her to C-section the child out?
Yeah.
I'm like, don't have Abby, Ellie, don't. I cannot see you in the show halfway trying to C-section a child and then she dies.
No.
But,
so here's the thing, though. Everybody on the making of was saying, like, Ellie doesn't have the skill to save a life. Ellie just isn't in that position where she could. I wouldn't have the skill. Would they have the skill? Would anybody have the skill to do that? I don't think so.
No, and if you had the skill in that panic setting, you have 30 seconds to save a child through a C-section?
No.
With no gas or anything? Like, no
a
medical tools?
Situation there, bud.
No, C-sections go bad when you're in a hospital.
Yeah.
Now, the thing I'm wondering, they didn't show it. Are they going to show Abby finding a different way to find Ellie? Because if I'm remembering correctly, in Ellie's ending, she drops the map on accident, and that's how they find her. I know she drops the map on accident. I just don't remember if they don't show that until Abby's, but I'm pretty sure they show it in Ellie's part.
I'm pretty sure.
They didn't show that.
Nope.
So
how did they make their way over to the theater?
I don't know. I'm wondering if somehow Yara and Lev help her find them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they saw someone, whatever. I'm not entirely sure. One other thing two reports that I saw online. One, a thing that Neil pointed out is that they wanted to go into more detail in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in the writing for the game, they were going to make it so that it was actually possible and they would have succeeded in finding a cure if they killed Ellie.
Oh.
Like they didn't get a chance to science the shit out, but they openly said that it would have worked.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, my opinion doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get that. Because I'm pretty sure we talked about this on the podcast that you, me, Zane, and someone else did. If that worked, it then becomes, you don't, like the original thing was Joel killed her, we wouldn't know if it worked. Even if it did, how are you distributing it?
Mm-hmm.
And how is that not being used as a ploy for power?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Like, we'll save your loved one if you join the Fireflies.
Yeah, that's the whole... That's a really good point.
That was my thought the entire time. If this would have worked, I'm sorry, maybe within
another bargaining chip.
Yeah, because the Fireflies were dead after Joel got rid of them at that hospital, pretty much. So that meant there was maybe 30 of them left before Joel got there, and then the only ones that were left were a few people outside of Abby's friends. Mm-hmm. So you would have had 40 people, maybe max, to distribute that cure across the country and to make people believe that you actually have one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many people would have actually believed that it was a cure?
And who would have took it openly thinking it was a cure? Are you just going to have a cage of random infecteds where you're going to be like, no, we're honest, it works?
How would you even catch one without getting your arms ripped apart?
Yeah, how would you synthesize
unless
hundreds of the cure?
Unless you had someone who was very recently bitten and you just had them held down.
I don't know. But
I don't know.
All right. So we're going to talk about how I'm going to tell you guys if you think this is media illiteracy or just point blank lying to try and get clicks because websites are fucking stupid. So
oh no.
All these websites come out, the ending happens. Do you remember how the episode ends? Abby wakes up.
Yes.
And she goes out in Seattle. Do you know what the top 5 websites I saw? Because I have a Google Pixel, so if you swipe left, it's the Google.
Oh
Trends.
yeah. You have the yep.
You know what the top 5 websites articles were about the ending of The Last of Us?
Oh no.
Was that all a dream that Abby had?
Why does everyone think it's this, Dallas St. Elsewhere ending? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I'm like, did you miss at the end where it says Seattle day 1?
Day 1? And also, like, why would she dream of Ellie?
Yeah, like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, this person that she doesn't know
and barely remembers what she looks like.
Yeah, she's like, you. There's no recognition the tools to produce
multiple of them. Exactly,
There's a little recognition, but I mean, she didn't know her off the top of her head.
At that point, it's like, yeah, I just had a premonition of this whole entire thing.
Yeah, sure.
We're now going to give Abby superpowers where she has precognition. I fucking, oh my God.
Are you
yeah, what's further, if she had precognition, she was like, she would have never fucking killed Joel, because she was like, like, I might hate him, not worth it, like, bye, see ya, love you, Dad, but sorry.
Yeah, maybe she should have thought of that in the first place, anyway.
Oh yeah, you don't say. So,
just has a complete nightmare of all her friends getting killed ruthlessly.
And then she's like, guys, I think we should all go through with it still. It turns out great.
Yeah, it actually turns out really well for me.
Like, I'm the only one left, and I get new friends after I get horrifically tortured at the end and, like, freaking emaciated on a pole.
Yeah, I'm the Last of Us.
And then when Ellie finally meets her, she can go, I'm the Last of Us too.
Yes.
Oh, God. That's it.
But
The Last of Us was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
And the trauma we made along the way. Too.
The Last of Us is the friends that died along the way.
Oh so my God. What are we, some kind of Last of Us squad?
Are we some kind of Last of Us? What are you making some quad out of The Last of Us? What are we doing here? The worst part is, that's the least dumb line in that Suicide Squad movie.
I know, it really is.
But everyone makes fun of that line when that's like the best way you actually could have ever called them the Suicide Squad.
It's like the best way that they could have, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
but,
man.
All right, so Neil Druckmann kind of said in an interview that he basically is saying that there's going to be somewhat of a different ending for the game versus the show.
Yeah.
Like, what that means, I don't know.
Numerous things that could mean.
Yeah. I'm thinking the obvious scene with the people and the decision that happens might be different, but
maybe.
They have said that the show ends with the end of game 2. There is no... So...
There's no Last of Us Muppet Babies sequel.
No. But
that's really what could put it over the top, I think.
They've also announced that they're making a new game alongside Intergalactic.
Oh boy.
So I'm not saying that game might come out in time for a third season. For a fourth season, or fifth season, but but the thing that makes me think it's not The Last of Us is because Neil is only producing that one, not directing it. I don't think he would not produce.
Maybe it's another Uncharted.
Oh my God, Umbreon! What if that is literally the tagline for like the third game, and it's literally like Ellie and Abby team up?
That has been a thing that they have suggested at one point, that they somehow run into each other again.
I think at that point the series would just be like,
honestly, if you ever had them run into each other, it would be something else. But I think honestly that third game is going to end with Ellie dying if they ever do one.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I would bet my anything I inherit from any relative on that.
And then she sees Joel in heaven or whatever.
Like,
and then they sit on the heaven porch. I don't know.
Heaven porch.
No, that's making me think of Supernatural.
I know, that's so Supernatural. I was gonna say.
It's pretty much it. No, Jacob, I did not. But
I didn't hear that. No,
but yeah. All right. One thing I did hear about that I thought could have been cool. David Tennant reveals he really badly wanted to play Reed Richards.
Oh. I would have been for that.
It would have been. It would have been really weird seeing him do that, even though he was Purple Man.
Purple Man, yeah.
Which he did fantastic at, by the way.
Oh, excellent.
I know, Purple Man is one of my all-time favorite Marvel villains. Legit. He is such a scumbag, and I love him.
Oh, yeah.
He has one of my favorite lines in anything. When Jessica's finally at the house with him, and he's talking with her, and he's like, do you honestly think that this is fun for me? The other day, a man cut me off in traffic and I told him to go fuck himself. Can you even imagine? I had to pause the episode. I was laughing so fucking hard. Cause picturing, and then they did the other thing with, who was her friend? The detective friend who's the blonde, that's Wildcat.
Oh.
Can't think of her name.
I can't think of her name, but I know which one.
But anyway, they get really creative with his powers because there's at one point where he gets out of the hermetically sealed thing and walks off, and he tells her to put a bullet in her own head. So then as she's trying to shoot herself, Jessica ejects the shell and shoves it in her mouth and goes, "It's in your head." He just goes, "Oh, it is." And works around it, so it's okay. Yeah. But that was cool. And this is a quote from him. Unfortunately, it looks like they've gone in a different direction. Although if it has to be someone else, I'm very happy for it to be Pedro Pascal. Because he's got to snatch up all those father roles while he can. I'm not saying that in the Horizon movie he's going to be playing Rost. Sony, I swear to Christ, I swear to God, if somehow he plays Ross, I'll lose my shit. All right. Speaking of something that made me lose my shit, Warner Brothers said no to the Schumacher cut.
Yeah.
Canceled all versions of it showing in theater. That's dumb. Hey, what's all that goodwill?
Can't say I'm shocked.
Boom, throw it right over there.
Warner Brothers, as of late, isn't exactly making good choices, are they?
No.
And also, what would have harm it would have done? It'd be for the movie's 30th anniversary or whatever. But I guess Warner Brothers is a fun free zone now. Boo.
I guess so.
Yeah, and I'm going on this, even though he said otherwise. Also, there's reports saying that he is, and Michael Bay has point blank lied about not making that Skibidi Toilet movie.
Oh, God.
What do I think of it? I think it was incredibly dumb and out of character, but it's a 90s comic book film, so they did it to do it. But yeah, and if it is actually going through, the rumor is that the VFX supervisor is Rob Legato, who has won 3 Oscars, including work on Titanic and Avatar.
Brilliant. This is what our society deserves.
It is.
For every sinners, there's one Skibidi Toilet.
Yes. And we know which one's going to win the Oscar, and it's not Skibidi Toilet. Oh, I meant to say it's not Sinners. All right. So, in a move that did not shock me whatsoever, Disney and Marvel Studios have announced that Avengers Doomsday have been moved from May 1st, January 2026 to December 18th, December 2026. And Avengers Secret Wars, meanwhile, will now open on December 17th, 2027, after its original scheduled May 7th, 2027.
Yeah.
That does not shock me at all.
Not at all. Same here. Same.
That would have been a year to shoot than editing.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Someone tells me they're going to have a lot of editors working on that.
Methinks you're correct.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a Rockstar level team of editors working on that fucking thing.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Along with an exorcist.
Probably. It's just Robert Downey Jr. in a cape, in a you know,
in his getup from Doolittle.
Yeah, exactly.
Eating pea soup.
Okay, so we're on to the other section. Scott D'Amore has said he tried to sign CM Punk to TNA after the AEW situation. It wasn't a well-kept secret that I tried to sign Phil to TNA after things in AEW fell apart. I knew it was a long shot. I knew it was asking for him to work for smaller arenas than he had in a long time. He listened. He was interested. He never big-time TNA once, and he conducted himself in the way we all wish professionals would. You know, I honestly think he would have had fun in TNA.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I think he would have had a lot of fun in TNA, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
It would have been interesting.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to see
him
there.
The road not taken and all that.
There's just going to be a table with nothing at it. Oh, hey, and then my favorite story that we're going to end on a high note here. Hey, Kiona.
Yeah.
Do you remember at WrestleMania 40 when the event had been sold out for a month? And then The Rock went, hey, I think, Cody, we should ruin this storyline that you're in and make me wrestle Roman. Because that will make this sold-out event sell more tickets.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then he had to big-time Cody, making it so that he pinned him, making him one of the, 4 people that have pinned Cody since he came back.
Yeah.
And then, just fuck off for a while. And then after he tried to kill Cody no less than 3 times, he comes back on Raw after a while for their debut on Netflix and goes, hey, this guy right here, Cody, he's my guy. I love this dude to death. I know I said I was going to kill you on live television a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're my guy, and I'm great for you helping run this company and taking it along. You're the best dude, and I love you. And you know that storyline that I wanted to do really bad with Roman that would line up perfectly because he's going against Solo? I'm not going to do that storyline either because I'm giving up on the thing I said would be the best WrestleMania match in history.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give that up because, I have good ideas. Then he goes, you know what? I got this. I was on the phone with Paul around WrestleMania or around Elimination Chamber. And we were talking and I'm like, Paul, the reasons why WrestleMania is not selling out isn't because we're charging an entire 5 years worth of mortgage payments for nosebleed seats. It's because you're not doing an idea of mine where I do this sell your soul angle with Cody and John Cena, make it so that I'm the big bad guy, being the conspirator, pulling all the strings, and then not show up again whatsoever and leave the ultimate muscle to be Travis Scott, a guy that Michael Cole could pick his teeth with. Then we find out that The Rock may not appear in WWE again until 2027, as his schedule is fully booked for this year and a half, as he recently signed on for a new psychological thriller breakthrough with A24. Why are you showing up at all? Just
dude,
stop!
You're half of every toddler's dad because you voiced Maui. You don't need to do this, dude.
No, it can't be good without him. He just knows the business so well. If you do, then you know that overexposure doesn't help. Do you remember when they said, die, Rocky, die? No, it's going to get back to that, Dwayne.
I don't think he's aware of that.
No, because, like, The Rock doesn't exist anymore. I'm Dwayne Johnson. They didn't say, die, Dwayne, die. Do you remember all the money that Black Adam made? What do you mean it didn't? I thought the hierarchy of power in DC was about to shift.
Yeah, well, I mean, it did. I mean, technically,
did, but just in the other way.
I mean, technically, there probably wouldn't be a James Gunn Superman without it. So, thanks, Dwayne.
Like everybody has their opinions on people, but I don't know if I've had a person actively force me to hate them more than Dwayne Johnson.
Complete 180, right? I don't know.
I never minded him before, but then these comments with Black Adam, all this shit with how, well, if I was doing things, I was trying to give you guys what you want with getting Henry Cavill back and but I had to be the guy who was more important than him. Then all this, I just fucking, oh my God, Dwayne.
It just
make me. You know the term is make me miss you? Make me tolerate you.
Yeah.
Go away till like 2030. I would be genuinely excited if for 5 years I didn't hear his music. And then he came back and went, shit's gonna happen. Yeah. Peanut water bottles. Yeah, that was another good one because, you know, we need to be doing that.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I just need to be taking breaks, man. You're a normal human. Go to the bathroom.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, for real.
Drink it up, baby. Drink it up.
Oh, sorry, Bree. Do you guys got anything else? This is a rather short one, but I'm okay with that if it's whatever. But do you guys got anything else?
Well, there's one thing that's kind of sad. I don't know if I'm
the comic book artist?
Yeah, Peter David, one of my favorite comic book writers of all time, and also science fiction writer. He wrote a lot of Star Trek novels, I believe.
Yes. He was big on Teen Titans, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yeah, he's just a fantastic comic book writer, one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, he co-created Spider-Man 2099, right?
2099. So yeah, he had a great run on Hulk and Supergirl and Aquaman and Spider-Man. He
did Professor Hulk too, right?
He was I think it was in his book that we had the Spider-Man character El Muerto, I think. Was that in his book?
Remember the hit movie star that was going to get his own movie with Bad Bunny?
Yeah. Anyway, well, I mean, it's not his fault for making
it's not his
in
fault
the first place, but it's just
the character's fine, but you're not making a movie out of him.
Yeah, why are you trying to make a movie out of that? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, Peter David though, fantastic comic book writer. I have a book that he wrote that was called How to Write Comics the Peter David Way, if I remember correctly.
Oh, nice.
And
that's awesome.
It's a really fun book. I enjoyed his humor. I thought his stories were really great. Yes, the A-list Spider-Man that went over on. But like, you know, I enjoyed his Spider-Man stuff. He just wrote Symbiote Spider-Man or Symbiote Spider-Man, depending on how you pronounce it. For Marvel, and so he was working pretty close up to the end there, and his family had set up a GoFundMe for all of his medical bills, and just, you know, he had been struggling with health issues for a long time, and so kind of a sad thing. Definitely one of my favorites. Just positive thoughts to his family, and to those who survived, to those who are still here as part of his legacy, and to all the great stories that he left us with. Yeah, sorry to end on kind of a bleak note there, but I just really did enjoy what he what he produced and what he wrote. So
yeah, no, I agree.
Just wanted to give him a shout out and just say, rest in peace, Peter David. You were awesome. Thank you, Umbria. That's what I do.
There's something that I'm going to bring up off stream because I saw the year that reminded me of a stand-up comic saying something and it has to do with the Harry Potter cast, and I don't know if I should bring it up on here.
Oh no.
But yeah.
But do we have anything else? I mean, other than that, something to end on a little more on a happier note, maybe.
Leukemia? I don't know.
I mean, is there anything? Let me do
I played a fun. Hey, honestly, go out and buy. Oh, what is it called? Is it Bad Therapist? Is that what it is? Card. Horrible. Okay, so I'm gonna bring something up that you guys should go buy. This will make a little bit more of a note. There was a card game I played this weekend called Horrible Therapists.
Nice.
That is kind of like Umbreon, it's much worse. I'm going to be streaming for sure at least Thursday. I'll bring up the whole thing on the stream there. But it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but you'll pick up a question and then the person will answer it, and then the therapist has to answer it again. So it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but with an extra step in the in-between. It was really funny. I had a bunch of fun playing that. If I remember, I'll put it in the link to this. Go out and play it. It's a lot of fun. And another one that I play with my friends that I haven't played in freaking forever, and we had a ton of fun playing, is Codenames. If anyone has never played Codenames...
Oh yeah, Codenames. Mm-hmm.
It's a ton of fun. We had a fucking blast playing Codenames for like 3 hours yesterday. That was
that's awesome.
So much damn fun. And I played Clue for the first time in like 10 years.
I love Clue. Clue's
yeah,
fun.
I wanted to play Clue so damn bad, so then we just went to Walmart and like Clue, Sorry, and something else were all like $8 each. Like a bunch of other games. I got like 10 board games for like $40. It was something ridiculous, but it was great. But yeah, a little bit higher note than what we were gonna say before. But Bree, where can everyone find you?
All right. Everyone can find me at crazylemur.bsky.social. I'm also on Instagram at lemurs Roll1, and then like I said, I have a podcast known as Le Crap. I'm just gonna screen share some real quick. Blah, blah, blah. All right, here we go. Our latest episode just came out last night. Just 7 Death Kappa, and yes, that is moist critical. It slightly makes sense in context, so be sure to check that out. So yeah, check that out, and I was like,
so nice to have Voice Critical joining them.
Yeah, so nice to have Charles join us.
Yes, have Charlie there with you.
Good old Charlie.
Kiona. Oh man, love his videos though.
Yes. Kiona.
Well, me you can find on Instagram and Threads at Neoplasmic81, also on Twitter at Neoplasmic24. I'm still there. In some way or shape or form. You can find me on Blue Sky as well at Neoplasmic. Twitch is getting a bit of a rest right now, but we'll get back to it later.
You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on YouTube and Twitch. For the Twitch, I'm going to be giving away a digital deluxe edition of Ghost of Yotei on October 2nd at the midnight release of the game. So for that, you are going to have to just be watching the podcast, watching the stream, and be subscribed. Yes. Listen up, Manny. I was too nice to you the last time, you jerk. But it's $5 to win something that's worth $80. I think that's a pretty cool deal. If you do enter it and you do win, you will be getting the thing the next day when the code comes with the game. Because the digital deluxe code just comes with it because they don't send you games anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm buying the extra copy to stream it at midnight, plus getting the, yeah. But then you can find me at my Instagram at Organoid0 and Athletic Geek 89 on his channel. We do the Geeking Out podcast where we just pick up one topic and then geek out about it for an hour. We haven't done that in a while because he's been super busy, but we'll be getting back to it pretty soon. All right. Until next time. Bye!
Bye!